Hey guys, welcome back to more Magic the Gathering. Today we're playing a cube draft. Again, this is my cube. I rather like Llanowar Elves. Mu Yanling is also like a nice, solid option. I'm just gonna take the elves here. Okay, we got a Tireless Tracker. Wolfbriar Elemental is also incredibly good. Nothing else in this pack is really drawing me anything. I mean, I could like move into Blagro, and take like Kitesail Freebooter, but this makes our first pick not dead, which I think is slightly better. Now, between Tireless Tracker and Wolfbriar Elemental, that's pretty tough. This is a cheaper value engine, and this is more of an explosive, flexible card. I'm going to take the Tracker, though. I think that's a close pick. Vivian here is better than Pelucranos. It's worth noting we could take Isreth or like move into Gruul, but I think this is just better. There's no reason to move into a second color yet, or maybe at all, potentially. We could take Heinwehr Garrison, that's like a pretty solid pickup, but so is Blade Splicer. Both are fine. I think Grafted Wargear is probably the safest pick, other than like Mistress Factory or Carplusian Forest, but I like Wargear. It's like pretty reasonable in mid-range. Resto, Bestial Menace, Nature's Lore. We don't have a ton of ramp yet, so I'm going to take this Nature's Lore. It's just incredibly important to have that consistency. I am a big fan of Glorybringer in this style of deck. If I want to run that, though, I'm going to need to pick up the Cinderglade. What's the most likely land to wheel out of this pack? I'll take this. And just risk it and put everything else in there. Cinderglade is fine, but I think that like the big payoff would be Glorybringer. So if we wanted to play Gruul, that we should grab the card that we're going to need. And then if Cinderglade doesn't come back, okay. And if it does, then our risk pays off. Incendiary Flow is reasonably good. I'm happy to play it in most decks. I mean, at this point, we could be Gruul already, and I'd be fairly happy with it, but I want to be very much base green. Ooh, Chandra Flamecrawler is just a house. I mean, the Grand Coliseum would be nice, but I'm just going to take this. Alright, so here we can just take the Terramorphic Expanse. Glinthorn Buccaneer is not very good. So we can just... Oh, wow, that should not have gone that late. We're going to be a pretty sweet Gruul list. I'm not hype on Chandra, but she's serviceable. Batterskull is just a busted card, so you can take that. The thing about Batterskull is that it has no bad matchups, right? So it's good against aggro, it's good against control, and it's good against midrange. It's just a card that I'm really going to want to pick up. It's a reason that I'm considering cutting that card from the cube, actually. It's not that it's, like, broken, it's just it has literally no bad matchups, and that can be pretty detrimental to your environment. I can take Sky Diamond here. I could take Wolfear Avenger. It feels like we're getting kind of cut off the green. I'm just going to take the Misty Rainforest, because maybe we pick up a Stomping Ground later. I know that Wolfear Avenger is a good card, but... Okay, excellent. So we got the Sylvan Caryatid, so that's going to help us fix mana. It's also just a good card. This is kind of an interesting pack where like I want the Flame Tongue Kavu. I don't think anyone's going to take this though, so I'm going to take the Devoted Druid. Like so far people have just not taken the red cards. Like Heinwehr Garrison is not a card that should have wheeled. Star Compass is fairly good. Vivid Crag is also fine. That may come back around. I'll just take the Star Compass. Prioritize ramp here. We don't really need any of these because they don't really fit in our strategy. Take the O-ring. Top shouldn't have wheeled there. I would love to have more mana ramp, but it's not really coming my way yet. Alright, I mean, we could take the Mana Rock, or we could take Wolfear Avenger. I think we actually might be like kind of a curve out on 3 style of deck. So like, I mean, if we could find some 1-mana dorks, we'd be in business. None of these really do anything. I'll just take the Mind Control. I had a feeling the Flame Tongue Copy would come back. Wow, Vivid Crag wheeled too. I was more skeptical about the Vivid Crag coming back, but since it did, I think we're in a good spot. So right now, actually, our mana looks like it's going to, because we got the Terramorphic Expanse, we got the Vivid Crag, so it looks like we're going to play maybe nothing on turn 1 a lot of the time, so we're going to spend that mana on stuff that has fixing, basically using that mana on turn 1 to fix, and then turn 2 can allow us to have our ramp spell, and then turn 3 can either be a 4-drop or a 3-drop. In this pack, I kind of like Yeva. I also like Fire Diamond. Endless One is also good. I think the Diamond might come back, so I'm going to take this Yeva. Kadama is a really great card. So is Inferno Titan, but I think that's more of a control card most of the time. Krenko versus Miri's Guile. Are we just supposed to be mono red and we've just been ignoring the signals? That might be the case. Maybe a little bit too late for that now, though. Miri's Guile is fine. It's like a second copy of top, which means that we get to like look at our, we get to manipulate the top of our library, which is excellent. Channel Initiate is really good. It fixes for both of our colors, and again, it's more ramp. Not that we have a particularly high curve in this deck, but essentially the premise, of these style of decks is that you want to hit your 4 and 5 drops a turn sooner than your opponent. That's how you beat them, right? We may not want this Grafted War Gear. We'll see. It's a good card, but we'll kind of see how things pan out. It just kind of depends. I mean, it's pretty aggressive, and our list is fairly aggressive for a mid-range deck, so it's probably fine, but... Forkbolt is good. I'll gladly take that. Shackles, yikes. Yeah, I mean, this is a pack we can't take anything out of. I lose to Shackles, so I'll just take that out of the things that other people can play. I can take Anger the Gods for, like, anti-aggro hate, but I mean, I don't know if I really want to do that. I could also just take Phyrexian Revoker, which is good for shutting down Planeswalkers. Could we be Jund? I don't really think that's worthwhile at the moment. Maybe it is. Sure. Okay. So we got the second one, so maybe we play Jund. Probably not. We're probably playing Forked Bolt. On-Crop Crasher Wheel. Yeah, we probably could have had a sweet mono red deck. It's just that it was unclear that's where we should have been headed. Maybe I think I misread the signals, to be honest. I think that I took the pack 1, pick 1 Manowar Elf, and then just kind of made decisions a little bit too attached to my opening pick. We still got another pack to kind of flesh this deck out, but I think it could have been better off had I just gone mono red. We can still be a fairly aggressive mid-range deck. Curve centered around kind of like... I mean, the uncomfortable part is that 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... So I've got all these like ramp spells that don't do anything proactive in the same way that an aggro deck would be proactive at 3. Alright, so we got a Garruk Primal Hunter. That's excellent. That's a card that like kind of smooths out our curve if we're curving out. Nothing on one, maybe like something like Miri's Guile or whatever. Something on two, play a 4-drop, play a 5-drop. That's a pretty good sequence. So, yeah, Garruk is just one of those cards. He's basically the green Elspeth Suns champ. I know I talked about that in my previous video. Alright, Into the North here is pretty good. Magmatic Sinkhole is a card that we're interested in, but it's not like 100% necessary here, and I think that another ramp spell is really going to help me fix my mana, and it's going to help me keep my strategy kind of in line with what I want it to be. I can take an 8th ramp spell here, or I can take Hangerback. I think the ramp spell is more likely to come back to me, so I'm going to take this Hangerback Walker because it's an excellent, excellent card. We have the option between a 1-mana Dork and Nissa here. That's a really tough pick for me because I think that 1-mana Dorks are broken. But I'll take the Nissa just because we don't have a ton that to make it worth ramping at the moment. And so I want to kind of flesh out, okay, why are we actually ramping? Corrosive Portal is just a great card. Mold Shambler here. I was really hoping to draft aggro today, but and I probably could have with this pool, but you know, alas. I'm gonna take this Ash Barrens. I think, is that right? Do I really want to take that? Could I just take the Incinerate instead? We do have a lot of red, so it's not like we can't fix quite as easily as we're used to when I do like a Gruul deck. Alright, Magmatic Sinkhole came back. Excellent. Rexage is a decent sideboard card. I'm not running it main here. I don't think I'll run Mold Shambler main either. Though we could. Like maybe we go. Okay, so probably playing that. We could play Mold Shambler and we could cut like Kadama, which is like good, but this slims our curve slightly. Still have one too many cards. Crasher's only mediocre. Probably better than War Gear in this deck, though, maybe. Maybe not. Cut that. I kind of don't want the Magmatic Sinkhole, though. I kind of think it's between Kadama and Mold Shambler. I'm kind of leaning toward Mold Shambler. This gives me more game against mid-range. Or, I mean, against aggro. And then the rest of the deck is kind of... The rest of the deck hopes to deal with control fairly well. So, in mid-range. So I think that that's probably okay. Now we just got to figure out how many lands of each color we're running. We didn't get there on a stomping ground, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 7 to 21. So we need to be dominantly green in our mana base. So we've got 11 slots. I'm going to say like 7 forests. 1, 2, 3. And that gives us access to 7 red for a double pip. And then access to 1, 2, 3, 10 green. That's probably fine. We could maybe lose a mountain and add a forest. But our early game does have some red components to it, so I kind of want to have a more even blend. I think that's fine. Okay. Let's get into the game. Alright, so we're in round 1. We won the die roll because we're skilled. And this hand looks good. We curve top into Caryatid into Vivian, which is quite good. Okay. So, unfortunately, my opponent revealed the top cards of their library, so I now know they're on Bant, which is probably why I wasn't finding a lot of green ones. That said, I think we're favored in this matchup, mostly because we have so much access to tempo advantage, where Bant generally struggles. So, I think that's how we're going to get ahead. Oh, I can also tutor for Kodama with Vivian. That's something I forgot about. So, yep. What is this madness? Paying 3 mana for Prism. Okay. That's unfortunate, and that's like gonna take us a little bit to recover from, but we can dig with top, and that should help us. View top 3. Hey, look, a Hangerback Walker. So yeah, we don't want the 2 cards that are on top, so I'm just going to cycle this Ash Barrens. I'm just going to draw and see what we draw. Okay. It's not ideal. And I'll just pass. I guess I could have incendiary flowed this. There, that would have been probably fine. Okay. I'm just going to shuffle first, since that theoretically increases my probability of drawing something good. That's pretty good. Alright, so he's got some form of counter magic. Alright. Sacking both, that's fine. Don't care about that at all. I get to draw the Wolfear Avenger and flash it into play, which is pretty good. And pass. So yeah, now I get to see what he does. I think that's a big enough tempo swing to put me in a winning position, but my opponent does have 6 cards in hand. So, you know, it's not over yet. That's a 5/5. Alright. Vigilance and Trample. You can't really attack into my board. As good as this card kind of is here, as a 5/5 Vigilance Trample, I can kill his thing with my Hangerback and Caryatid, so I don't think it's ideal for him to attack here unless he's got, like, you know, Quarantine Field or something ridiculous, but... I also chose, interestingly, not to... Okay. So we'll just do this. So he's going to do all the damage to the Caryatid. That's fine. Okay, fine. So we're going to put the Batter Skull on top. It doesn't matter where it goes. Alright. Put the Batter Skull on top. We're going to draw that guy. He's got a counterspell. So I don't actually want to play it yet. Ooh, Garruk is quite excellent. Yeah, definitely want Garruk. And you see, like, with this, like, very tight curve that I've got, I'm actually flooding at 14 lands. And I'm in 2 colors, you know, so I think that there's a lot of benefit to playing a tighter curve. Alright. Oh, this is a land. Whoops. Yeah, I fubbed that up, actually. I could have probably played the Batterskull last turn, but that's okay. I'm just going to draw Forest here so I can play it. 1, 2, 3, 5. Alright, Remand. You did it. So the counterspell was Remand that whole time. I was playing around like a Quench, which I forgot that Imprison the Moon was not just like a Banishing Light type effect, so I was playing around. Anyway, I played that last turn. Not last turn, but the turn prior to that incorrectly. Okay. I don't think my opponent can beat this hand. Both Batterskull and Garruk are excellent. Yeah, historically, Bant is a pretty underperforming color. Not pairing, grouping. So I generally try to avoid drafting it, but you know, it can be fine. All right. Two, three, four, five. Play the Batterskull. This time I'm not going to play around my opponent having something. So last time I intentionally left up the mana, but this time I'm just going to Incendiary Flow the Click and play top. This is just for tempo. So yeah, like if I lose my Batterskull here, I lose the game. But also, if I played that differently, I'd likely not be in a position to win either. I mean, I probably would, but it's just a lot of tempo loss to be smacked in the face for 4. I don't know. It was a little bit of a risky play, but it secures my life total a little bit more as opposed to securing my threat, so that was kind of what I was valuing there. This could potentially gain me life, but like if my opponent plays another mind control effect, I'm not getting there anyway, right? Because I got to do the same thing, and then my opponent hits me for 4 again, and then I'm at 3. And then if my opponent has removal for the germ token or whatever, right? So there's a lot of places where that could go wrong, and this is my best bet for like playing around that kind of gameplay for my opponent. It's going to take Yeva. Took the Yeva over the Flame Tongue there because Yeva is essentially a Flame Tongue, but she's going to get my Devoted Druid Flash, which is kind of a big deal. 3, 4, 4 mana. What is this? Alright, sure. So if my opponent attacks with the resto, I go to 11. I don't care because this is a 4-4. You can also just flash in the Yeva. No. Alright, we take 4. I'm only going to flash in the Yeva, I think, here. The crafted war gear plus flame tongue coffee? That seems pretty good. Okay, so, alright, so we won game 1. I think this is like a Chandra. This could be a Chandra game. Because that can help us, like, swing a board back. She acts as a wrath effect that can also win me the game. She's, like, incredibly powerful card. If I'm running Chandra, I think that cards like Heinwehr Garrison lose their luster, I think, a little bit in this kind of a matchup where it's very mid-rangey. They're just not going to be able to attack through things. And I think that I want to keep these other cards in the board, actually, because to some degree, like a Vivian could be really good. Magmatic Sinkhole can also be really good in this matchup. Probably better than, like, a Fork Bolt. Fork Bolt did what in that matchup? It did some stuff. I mean, maybe it's better than Crafted War Gear as well. Yeah, it's probably better than Fork Bolt in this matchup. Seems like my opponent's got some bigger things and some not so big things. I'm gonna guess that he's like got some planeswalkers and things that I want to get rid of. So I'll keep this. So my opponent's mulliganing. I rather like my hand. They're gonna play Channel Initiate on 2, and then play Coercive Portal on 3. It's pretty good. I'm playing the Terramorphic Expanse just because it's clunky. So rather than play like a land and top this turn, I'm playing the Terramorphic Expanse because it's going to get me my red source, makes my Star Compass better. And yeah, it's also just awkward. So since I built my deck to kind of play around not having ramp on turn 1, having it on turn 2 is more the goal. This essentially just means that you want to get your tap land on play on turn 1. That's kind of why I chose the lands I did, like Vivid Crag and things, and chose like a lot of 2-mana ramp instead. Really? Okay. You did it, I guess. No counter spells up. I'm just gonna draw, and I'm just gonna play Coercive Portal. And I'm just gonna actually pass. I don't want to play this. I don't want to play this Ash Barrens because that can actually help me get through awkward top situations and things. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and play a hanger pack for 2 here. Coercive Portal is just a really hard card to beat, so feeling fairly decent about this board state. My opponent's whiffing on land, which is another downside of playing a 3-color deck. Alright, well, I'll see what they Banishing Light. Alright, I think that was the wrong target, but that's fine. I would have taken away the Coercive Portal, because I'm just going to get to do that every single turn from here on out. And my opponent did nothing. These are all great, so I'll just keep all of those where they are. Just gonna wait. I'm gonna flash in Yeva and Llanowar Elves, and then I'll play Vivian, buff the team. I can play a Glorybringer when I need to remove something, which isn't like super urgent yet. Garruk is excellent. Yep, I get to play that instead now. And then I'll just get rid of this. There's a blue source. Alright, so they're looking for like a Cleansing Nova, but that doesn't even do anything. Like, so you blow up the board and I get to just draw 2 cards and then make something with Garruk. It just doesn't do anything. Okay. Nice. 5. Yeah, you just weren't getting there, friend. Alright, so here we are for round 2. We're playing against Funch, noted user. Ooh, I rolled really well. Rolled a 1, so, clearly we're going to win this one. Alright, this curve's great. Turn 2, turn 3, turn 4. Perfect. Keep. Yeah, I mean, Glorybringer or Nissa, whichever is more prevalent, but I imagine that Glorybringer will probably be the better tempo play. Yikes. Okay. Yeah, that's a card. Yeah, it's a great curve. So we're kind of in not such a great spot, but that's okay. We're going to eat this Deep Forest Hermit, and we'll only take 8, so that's not very much damage. Um, but we can kind of turn things around, I think, with Glorybringer and Nissa, maybe. Um, and course a portal to kind of draw us ahead. I think that's kind of our big goal. So it's going to be a close game after we survive this, if we survive this. If this is like an Ajani, we're kind of screwed. Alright, that's okay. So we kind of went tall, and my opponent went pretty wide. So yikes. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, big flying creatures are just hard for us to beat in general, so now we're in a position where we've got to, like, use this as a blocker when we get to untap with it. We really need to find Batterskull. Batterskull would be, like, a great way of winning this match. Mm-hmm. And we're dead. We can see what's next, but we're dead. Yeah. No point in showing him any more information. We just lost. More gear doesn't seem super good here because I'm not like he's got a lot of blockers. Invoker could be okay. Yeah, Uncrop Crasher is also pretty bad, so let's just go with that. Oh, I guess Heinrich Garrison's also not very good, huh? We could... Do we see anything that we'd want to Rex Age? No. We did see some stuff that we'd want to Phyrexian Revoker with the Gideon. We'll just keep the Garrison. Could be good. Yikes. It's such a annoying curve. Alright, yeah, keep. It's fine. I mean, like, I get to go turn 2, turn 3, which is, like, not great, but... And if we draw a land, we get to go turn 3, Corsive Portal, which is actually great. The one time we have a Llanowar Elves in our opening hand, we gotta play it on turn 2. Alright, so we know our opponent's next turn play is. And, well, we can actually, no, this is better. We can take him off of that, kind of. Then we get to play a Hangback Walker. Alright. My opponent had to have the land in order to do that, so I still think we played that right over playing like the Corsive Portal that turn. I'm just going to play Tireless Tracker, get a clue. Want to put that at 1 or no? Probably not. I think that actually just upticking this is better. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Garruk is an insane card, by the way. It's just incredibly good. We could actually just blow everything up with Corsive Portal here. But I don't think that actually helps me. Almost. Okay, so we got there. There is some merit to like an on-crowd crasher. Phyrexian Revoker seems better now. But I kind of just like our setup. I mean, maybe Phyrexian Revoker is better than this. Yeah, it is. Okay. Sweet. This hand looks good. Land, initiate. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so if we can find enough stuff, we can curve out to Chandra. But I mean, I doubt that. Ugh. Alright. Yeah, that's probably GG. That's just such a massive tempo loss there. Well, we can Mold Shambler. Well, we still got some options because we got Mold Shambler to kill the Gideon. Oh, Jesus. It's probably just not good enough. We needed to have the Challenger Initiate to even combat this board. We're taking 5, 6, 7 here, so we're dead next turn. So we need to draw something. Like, the problem is we need both a land and a creature here. Okay, so still dead. Yeah, I mean this doesn't get us any closer to actually winning. So yeah. Yeah, we lost that one. Being on the draw and my opponent being the one that took almost all of the green 1-drops, which is why we didn't see any, you know, that essentially made all the difference. It's just a big tempo advantage to not have mana ramp on turn 1. And we did skip out on, I think just Elves of Deep Shadow is the only one that I skipped. But I could be wrong. Alright, so we are back for round 3. We won the die roll, which means we should win, right? Theoretically. This hand is rough. This is better. We don't need 3 ramp sources, so I'll pitch the worst one. I guess that's... yeah, that's fine. My opponent's on something with black in it. Play the Caryatid. Go. Okay, something controlling with black in it. I think we just try to resolve this Corrosive Portal. If he doesn't have a counterspell, it just puts us so far ahead. Sure. just going to go ahead and get another land here. Here's where Into the North, or the Nature's Lore would have been better. But, you know, ultimately, yeah, I wasn't anticipating that mattering. So maybe that's just wrong. Sure. Okay. Okay, so gonna play the land. That goes to 5. I mean, I can certainly kill it. Just a matter of what the best route is. I mean, I guess just playing Vivian is pretty good, right? Okay. Sure. Course of Portal is quite the card. It's basically just put us way ahead on this game. Alright, so this is a match where we definitely want the Kodama. It's very hard for my opponent to really interact with that. Sinkhole could be okay, but I actually don't think we need that here. I think the card that we probably don't want as much is maybe Oncop Crasher. Even though it's more aggressive, I guess that's kind of nice that it's aggressive. Crafted War Gear might be a little bit weak. Sure, let's try that. Yeah, this is fine. Okay. Alright, that's fine. I played that one because it gave me 4 mana this turn, which allowed me to play both the Caryatid and the Into the North if I didn't draw a land. So it was probably the best play, but it just didn't get me there. Alright, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We can just Mold Shambler the Liliana. Wonder if the Narsit's in the main or the sideboard. This card is often considered really weak, but I mean, its powers and its flexibility. It's a hill giant against aggro, and that can be quite good. And then here, obviously, against control, allows me to kill problematic permanents that can get in my way. So I think it's drastically underrated as a card. Oof. Wait, they decided to make a token? That doesn't seem correct. I mean, Liliana is just going to be really hard for us to beat in general, but if we are able to beat it, Hangerback can certainly help us with that task. My opponent has seen a lot of cards this game, though, so it's going to be pretty hard for us to actually beat this. So there's a couple options here that are all very interesting. I can put 2 counters on this and kill the Lily. That's probably right. Just kill Lily now. Let my opponent play their turn, and then I get to play something next turn. Knight seems like a weird inclusion, to be honest. It's just not a control card, but they must have Jace Wielder in their deck. That's their game plan, to draw through Jace. So we gotta act pretty fast if we're gonna beat this. Well, Fear Avenger helps a little bit. It's got regen, so it can block this kind of indefinitely. Batterskull is going to be pretty good to strap onto this Thopter token. can also just play the Kadama, because you can't really target and kill it. Get in with this for 5. I'm debating between Kadama and Wolfear Avenger. To some degree, I'm also thinking about Coercive Portal. It I kind of like just playing Wolfear Avenger. It plays around a lot of counter magic. Not all of it, but a lot of it. And it plays around a lot of kill spells as well. Of course, again, not all of them. Last Grasp and Terror. Terror has made its way back into the cube since Vampire Sovereign is kind of just, hey, another card that beats aggro as mid-range. So, alright, sure. I'm not sure that really makes a lot of sense for that deck, but sure. Okay. This is really sticky. This thing gets bigger, he's going to be able to blow up my land. He could bounce the land too. Jace. He can also just win if he's got the other Jace. I don't necessarily agree with that unless he's going to kill the land. I just don't think that's as good. Okay. I mean, the thing is, if I draw a land, which I'm pretty likely to do, I get to play a land, animate a land, give it vigilance, lifelink, and +4/+4, and that is often enough. I mean, if my opponent has removal, they've got removal, and they probably just win the game. But if they don't, they lose. So I think that not killing this is kind of loose. Alright, so now you kill Nissa. Alright, you did it. I'm going to lose to stupid flyers. That's infuriating. Alright, well, we're going to bring in, I guess, this Phyrexian Revoker. Maybe not. Maybe we just really want this and, like, Chandra and just, like, try to go bigger than my opponent. Yeah, like, Fork Bolt's probably bad. Let's just try that swap. I think that's probably enough. Alright, yeah. Keep. Sequencing our lands as we intended. Next turn we play Coercive Portal, and that should just be GG. They had to have had Jace in their library, otherwise they wouldn't have so aggressively drawn cards, right? Seems super aggressive. So yeah, my opponent can kill my Tireless Tracker. Okay. I could just play a big Hanger Backwalker next turn. Yeah, not having the life gain from the Batterskull that last game was a big deal. Oh man, just disgusting. Your turn. I don't see how my opponent beats this. They need to remove the Garuk now or they just lose. And they're still just going to lose to turn 3 Coercive Portal. That card's just nuts on turn 3. Because it's not like a Phyrexian Arena where it's going to dome you each turn. Not that that really always matters, but, you know. Alright. I'm I'm gonna look to see if we get anything that we want in the top 3. That's not that great, huh? I could minus and draw 3. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll go ahead and put it to 1. Nice, we did it. We do only have 9 turns to go, our opponent, but we have like a two-turn clock with on-crop crashers, so. Alright, sure. I'm just going to draw 2 here. I'll go ahead and cycle this away, get a mountain out, play that same mountain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Play Kodama. This is incredibly challenging for my opponent to deal with. Play Land War Elves. Make a guy. Your turn. So now he needs to have Dead of Winter. If he does, okay. Darn it. I think my opponent's plan is to try to mill me here. I don't think it's going to work. Go with 8 to make a 4/4 hanger back. My opponent is hanging in there, but I don't think it's going to matter. Okay. Jace, alright. He needs to hit like Yaheni's expertise or something. Even then I gotta refuel and I'm fine. This is lethal unless he's got removal. Maybe he's got the removal. Okay, sure. He lasts one more turn. I'm just like not gonna overcommit here. Alright, yeah, it's fine. Alright, so we ended up going 2-1. Pretty close matches. I was pretty satisfied with our deck overall. Generally, this is the part where I, talk about how bad I am. But I'm going to keep that to a minimum this time, and I'm going to let you guys kind of, tell me what I did well and what I didn't do well in the comments. But I will say that I think that during the drafting process, I think that there was a moment that I could have looked to move into mono red. I think I missed that opportunity, but I think it was there. But with that said, I just want to talk about Coercive Portal. It came down on turn 3 in 3 games, and obviously I won the games where that happened. This card can really help you put you quite far ahead in your mid-range deck, but also in your control deck. I like that it's a very flexible card. In this instance, right, we're leveraging the tempo gained by having a mana rock or a mana dork in order to cast this card a turn early, which makes it more efficient than it is naturally, and that makes it quite a decent card. So then in coming down a turn early, it's a tempo advantage because you're casting it before you should, and then it generates card advantage on top of that. And so, those ended up being really great games for us. Anyway, let me know what you think in your comments on the cube, on my drafting, on my playing, etc. I want to know. So thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you next time.